Judge, I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any way, once we do have the final jury charge, for you to share your screen for when you're reading it so the jurors can read along with you?
Oh, no, I don't do that.
Okay.
All right. So what's the status on this other witness?
So the sergeant at the liaison's office has called and texted. They tried reaching out multiple times, still no response.
Right. All right. So who is that out there? Is there somebody who needs something?
So she's from
Quarterman. All right. So defense, do you have another witness?
We do, Your Honor. We have asked that we not take the witness out of order.
Oh, we can just a second. We're going to go on the record.
Okay.
All right. So defense, do you have another witness?
We do, Your Honor. We've asked to not take this witness out of order for part of our defense strategy.
All right. So defense, I'm going to have you call that witness, and then we will take another short break to see if we have a status update on the other witness. All right, Deputy Laura, can you bring them in?
Can I put my witness up there?
Yes, sure. And then defense and state, if there's still an issue with the other witness, we'll see where we are at that time, but we'll take a break after this.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it.
Yes. Oh, and let me ask you. Are you all, I'm sorry, I messed the one up. Are you all responsible for the chairs of the courtroom or no? No, I mean just the regular chairs.
Yes, we can.
Is it possible because the chairs for the
Defense.
defense and also for the prosecutors, they're ripped on the arms and people are tearing their suits.
Got it. Our next budget, I think. You want to email on there, media, so that you're aware that you want your request.
You all don't have any just laying around to at least replace the ones with the chair in them? If not, that's fine. Okay. All right, thank you.
We'll work something.
Oh, I appreciate it. You always do great work.
Thank you. Have a
You're welcome. You too.
It's squatting for way too long. A little too much on the thighs.
There was a time in my younger years.
Well, we should do the cheerleader pose and be like down.
Yes.
And I'm like, too much now.
Well, when I played basketball, my upper body strength was awesome because and I became a great free throw shooter because whenever you would miss a free throw, they would make you do push-ups.
Oh, yeah.
And none of this thing where you cross your legs and do push-ups, you had to do push-ups. And then when you missed a basket that wasn't a free throw, you would have to do sit-ups. So my core was awesome. Maybe we can do push-ups.
No, I knew your mind was going there. It's not.
She was a leading.
Yeah.
No,
next try,
if somebody
Joe.
She
says,
still hasn't left that.
if someone says, right,
Or somebody talks too softly.
yes, you ready?
Somebody talks too quick.
All right, for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, after this witness's testimony, we may still need to take another break because Deputy Laura, with no objection from either party, informed you that there is a witness that's having some slight transportation issues. So we're trying to make sure that other witness
is available. All right, defense, the state has rested. Call your witness.
Defense call Roger Saucedo.
All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, and make sure you keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear and the jurors can hear. All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Saucedo, where do you currently reside?
7918 Faircrown.
How long have you lived at that address?
I'm ordering like 28 years.
Who else lives at that address with you?
My mother
Anyone else?
and my niece.
So are those the only individuals that live with you there right now?
Oh, well, my girlfriend now.
Okay. And then how old is each now?
And I think
Back in 2018, should have been about 5.
she was young.
Since you lived at that house, have you had any concerns about your safety and your mother's safety at that house?
Yes, sir.
What steps have you taken in order to, I guess, protect yourself and your family that live there? Back in 2018, 2017, that time frame.
Put private fences, put lights, put like secure doors, like for the windows, the back, and got a gun.
How long had you had that gun?
From that day of the incident, probably like 2 years, 3 years.
How often did you have issues with things going on behind your house?
Pretty much like every weekend.
What kind of things did you and your mother normally do in the backyard of your house?
We garden, we trim, and I work back there because
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a machinist.
So what kind of work do you do as a machinist? What exactly does that mean?
Rebuilding motors, transmissions, rear ends, motorcycle engines.
You work for somebody, you work on your own?
I'm self-employed because at that time I had to take care of my niece and nephew because I had full custody of them.
At that time, you had full custody of your niece and nephew?
Yes, sir.
Do you still have full custody of them?
No, sir.
Okay. Somebody else have full custody of them?
Their parents.
Okay, so they're back with their parents?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have your own children?
Yes, sir.
How,
2 years old.
boy or girl?
Boy.
He lives there with you?
Yes, sir.
And you said your girlfriend. What's your girlfriend's name?
Shauna.
Now, since you worked in the backyard of your house, you would have cars back there?
Yes, sir.
Were there concerns about having cars back there whenever you have to leave them there when you're not working on them, right?
Yes, sir.
So what kind of concerns did you have about them?
Because they were customers' cars, I had to end up paying for the things people steal or break.
How often did that occur?
Like months, 2 weeks, it depending who will see how many cars were back there.
Did you ever seek out law enforcement to help with the problem?
Plenty of times.
And did anything change?
They didn't look like they cared.
Now, at any point, was there additional patrols done behind your house?
Nope.
the back area of your fence, did you have to take care of that area, like maintenance wise?
Yes, because it's in a circular shape, but when we made the gate, we tried to not spend so much money, so we made it squared out, but we still have property on the side and the back. We have to take care of because the city, if anybody dumps on those parts, they won't clean it. They'll charge us.
So has that happened to you before?
Yes, sir.
What exactly has happened to you in regards to the city and dumping?
Numerous people threatening us if.
Yeah.
or-
My question though to you is, what has the city done? That you have decided you need to take it upon yourself to clean up that area?
They just don't do it.
Have they gone out to talk to you, giving you tickets, letters, or anything like that?
The city patrol in the white vehicles, if we're out there, they'll tell us that ain't our, that like pretty much that ain't their job. They're not gonna clean that. We have to clean it. And they'll clean like right across everything else and just leave that. And they'll tell us we have like 7 work days or 11 work days to be able to finish it, or they'll come back and give us a ticket.
And so they've told you, hey, look, you have this many days to take care of this. And so then you're responsible for taking care of that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've taken care of it.
Yes, sir.
Why did you take care of it?
Because I don't want my house looking like every other house in that bad neighborhood, just dirty and look like nobody cares. I care about my property and my house and where my mom lives.
Have you helped take care of your mom while you've lived there?
All my life.
What kind of things have you helped her with?
Everything from my dad abusing her to taking care of my sister's kids to her getting cancer, getting surgeries, being sick, everything.
And so you're close to your mom.
Yes, sir.
And in living with her, you've become concerned about her safety because of the location.
Yes, sir.
This day, when this incident took place, what had y'all been doing, you and your mom?
I was helping her garden and clean up the alley and the backyard, going back and forth.
What kind of stuff were you doing cleaning up?
Brushes, trash, weeding, moving pots, plants, that type of stuff.
How long had you been out there?
Pretty much all day from the beginning. Because it's a lot of property. We have like almost 4 yards, and then the side where you can actually drive on the yard, and it's pretty long.
At some point, did you make contact with somebody in the backyard?
Yes, sir.
And how did that come about?
Well, I heard my mom and people yelling and the dogs too. But like at first I didn't pay attention. And then I went outside to go see what was going on. Because my mom was telling me the dog was barking and someone there.
So you went outside?
Yes.
And what happened when you went outside?
My mom went towards that area, way in the corner, the back of my yard, like way in the back, past all the trees on the left-hand side of my yard.
What did you see?
I saw a white truck, all the way to on like so close to my gate where you couldn't even open the door, it would hit. It was parked right up against it.
What else did you see?
I saw the individual in the back trying to clear out all this stuff from his truck,
What kind of stuff?
like bags.
Had your mom, when you got out there, was your mom talking to this individual?
Yeah, she was already standing on the gate trying to stand because we have a 6-foot private fence. She was trying to climb up to see. So she was like at least mouth level to see him. And she like it's hard for her to talk, so she was trying to like she ain't gonna ask aggressive, but she'll ask politely, like, why are you doing that?
And so, once you saw she was talking to him, you see this individual, what did you do?
Got on the gate too to see what she was doing.
And what did you observe at that point?
Him still, like I could see visually the truck, the stuff behind his truck, and him standing behind the tailgate.
What did you do at that point?
Told him, please don't do that. We barely got done cleaning.
How did he react?
Mad.
Well, how do you know he was mad? What did he do?
Because he just told me straight off, I don't give a fuck. Who are you? You don't own the street. Why do you care what I'm doing?
How did you react to that?
My mom started talking right after that, telling him, please, why are you like that? Like trying to make him have sense of what he's doing and being polite, but he just kept, I don't give a fuck. You know, you don't own shit.
He's at this point, he's cussing at you. What did you do then?
I argue with him a little bit.
What did you tell him?
That ain't right. Don't fucking do that.
Did you become concerned at any point during this discussion?
Yeah, because he just started getting more mad, more violent, and gave me gestures like he wanted to do something.
Did he do anything?
He stopped from the back of the truck and he started getting close to this door.
Okay. And what happened when he got closer to the door?
When he got into the when he was going to the truck, like from the back to the front,
Mm-hmm.
I was telling my mom already, get down.
Tell us why you were telling her to get down.
Because normally when people go straight to the back of the truck or the front of the truck, after they're mad, they're gonna grab something. I already know that.
And how do you know that?
And more than one time I seen people do that to me.
So at this point, you're already on alert. Hey, I need to be aware of what's going on. I need to be prepared for whatever might happen.
Yes, sir.
So he gets to the car, you tell your mom to get down. What do you do next?
That moment, I kept telling him, I'm gonna call the cops,
You're telling who?
the individual.
Okay. And just to be clear, the individual that we saw testify earlier today is the same individual you had that altercation with?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you recognize him, he looks exactly the same?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so that individual, you're telling him, I'm going to call the cops. Is that correct?
Yeah, and he got more mad.
Okay. What else happened after that?
He started like going getting really, really mad. Like, I don't give a fuck what you're gonna do. I'll do something. Call him. I don't give a shit. He just kept getting more angrier, showing his body like, and then I told him, fucking leave, dude. Just fucking leave. I don't want no problems with you. Leave. And then he got in the truck. Like he was standing between like the door and the truck, and he was like hesitating to like go or come around to tell me something. He was like waiting to do something. He got in the truck and started and moved like not even far, like from my gate where my gate was, he moved right to the right hand side, like not even 5 feet.
Okay. And then?
I kept telling him, I'm gonna call the cops. Just leave. And we were still like arguing, kind of whatever. And he just like, I don't give a fuck. And he started throwing the stuff off his truck still. He kept doing it. He was all, do something. What you gonna do? And I told him, call cops. And then he told me, fuck you, and started throwing stuff towards us. Rocks or whatever. But it was with other debris when he threw it. So I went towards my house, and my mom was still there after I told her get down and everything. She still didn't want to listen because she wanted to see what I was doing and talking to. So I went real quick to the house where my gun was. I got it, went back over there. And then I told him fucking leave. And he kept just telling me, what the fuck you gonna do? And I told him, I don't want no problems. I have a gun. Leave. He goes, who the fuck are you to be telling me, like, getting mad, like questioning, like I'm doing wrong to him, talking to him like this and that, like. And I told him again, leave or I got a gun. And he goes, well, I got something for you too, motherfucker. That's when he was between the door and the truck open. The door was open, the driver's door. He pulled the seat forward and he took out a green bag. And I kept arguing with him, but still the same time him doing that, he pulled out the gun and faced it towards me and my mom.
What happened next?
I screamed at my mom to get down. He got a gun.
What did you do?
When I was telling her to leave, like to go, but I'm doing it like fast, like how the way I'm talking is slow because I have time to think about it now. I was telling her to run and go, but she don't listen sometimes. And I knew when he pointed the gun to me, I was already scared, like if he was gonna shoot my mom or me. I knew I could have shot him right there, but I didn't want to hurt him. So I shot at the ground to see if he was gonna leave and get enough time to be able to move away from him and my mom. When I was doing that, I shot. It happened quick. If it was like 2, 3, I thought it was 2. But I shot directly down after he pointed the gun straight to me and my mom. That's when I started hearing shots. Like if it was 1 or 2, I heard it. And then my mom was just like screaming and like freezing up, trying to go towards the house. That's when I was trying to go behind her. And then when I got to her, I paid attention to the gate and I saw the individual standing on the floorboard, I think, or the door, driving and hanging up, shooting towards my mom. So I was like trying to get to her to cover her and tell her, get down. And he just kept shooting towards her. He wasn't pointing at me. He was shooting at her.
And so you see he's firing. You're worried about her getting hit. I'm assuming you're also worried about you getting hit because he's just firing away.
I got scared when he put out the gun, but once he was shooting on mom, I was more concerned of her.
So then what were you doing yourself at that point?
Covering my mom while he was shooting.
And then what did you do after that?
After he stopped, I returned fire.
You returned fire. How many you shot?
No, sir, I was scared and I was trying not to peek up because he had higher ground. So I didn't know if he could see me directly, if I even lifted up, because there was a car right here where I was covering my mom.
At some point you stopped firing. Why did you stop firing?
Because I can hear him starting the car and like trying like to take off fast.
Did he take off?
Yeah.
So he took off. What did you do at that point?
Kept telling my mom, call the cops. They're shooting.
Did
They're
she
shooting at
call
us.
the cops?
She was on the phone trying to or calling them. She was hysterical, all talking in Spanish and English, and I'm telling her to call them.
And so then what do you do now at that point?
My mom was scared, telling me to stay inside with her and my niece, because my niece was right behind us, like we're in the back, but there's a big glass two-door window where she was sitting at watching cartoons. So she was like right behind us, like not like right there.
And what happens after that?
She kept telling me to stay inside, don't go out because they might come back to shoot us. So she told me stay in the house with her. And then she kept calling, like calling to see like they're gonna come to help us. And then she told me, just stay in the house till they come. Don't go nowhere. Don't do nothing. Put your gun up.
Did you
Because I don't
know,
want the police shooting you, because if they see you with the gun, put it up so when they come. So that's what I did. I put it in the kitchen drawer. I told my niece stay in the bathroom. And me and my mom stayed with her.
did you know anything was going on in in the back alleyway in the ditch?
No, sir, I didn't even hear. I didn't hear ambulance. I didn't hear like the ringing, the ambulance sound or the police sound. I didn't hear none of that till later.
So at some point, officers come to your house. Or I guess you notice that they're at your house.
No, they came and knocked.
Okay, and what'd you do?
I immediately went outside because I peeked to see and I saw the flashlights. So I knew they were police, not someone else.
Well, I guess people that are back there usually don't have flashlights and they're not.
No, I went straight to the front.
And so because you saw the flashlights, you're like, oh, that's somebody who's official.
Yeah, because they were all pretty much after they knocked police and all that, like,
And so at that point, you thought, okay, I'm safe. I can go talk to these people.
yes, it was a release after that, yes.
Okay, so then you go outside, make contact with them. What happens then?
They said they were there for a shooting. I said, yes, we're the ones calling you. I opened the door, told them they can come in. They were saying, like, can we come in? Were you the one shooting? I said, yes.
So you talk to the police.
That's
That's
straight from when they knocked on the door.
You talk to them there inside your yard, right?
Yes, sir.
You showed them where, I guess, kind of where the shell casings were.
Yes, I was telling them exactly like where I was at and where I came running, and the shells are right here where I was at when I was covering my mom. They told me not to step on nothing, move back and everything from it.
How many dogs do you have back there?
At that time, I had like 13 dogs.
You still have that many dogs?
No, sir.
So you had 13 dogs, little, big, all different sizes.
I had like 6 pit bulls and like little weenie dogs and like fluffy dogs. My mom takes care of animals, so we have a lot.
And so you had put some of the dogs inside?
Yes, sir, because the cops were concerned, because when they saw the pit bulls, they were scared and they told me they didn't want to shoot none of them.
And so you put those dogs in, but the little ones stayed outside?
Yes, they were just running around.
They asked you, I guess, told you, hey, you need to come down and talk to us at the headquarters, right?
Yes, sir.
And you went down freely, voluntarily. You didn't say, hey, I don't want to go or anything like that.
No, I told them whatever they needed or whatever help I can do, I'm willing to go with them. So I didn't see it as I'm gonna go to jail or anything. I was just like, anything you need to know, I'm here. Everything's here. You can check the house, check the yard, do anything you need to do.
And so you take a ride down to the headquarters, right? You remember who you went with?
No, sir.
Okay.
I was still scared. Like at that moment, I thought I was just gonna be in jail. I just kept thinking I'm not gonna be there for my mom. So it's just a lot of stuff happened. I was just scared.
And you were scared from the moment he pulled a gun until when?
I'm still scared.
And you were scared for your life and you were scared for your mom's life.
I'm scared something's happening to my mother and my niece and now my girlfriend and my baby, if I'm not there with them at all times.
And at that moment, during that time, you were scared for those people as well.
Yes, because I thought people were gonna do something to them and it was gonna hurt me more. It's not there.
You get down to the headquarters. And if you need, there's some tissue right there if you need it. And they start talking to you. They start asking you questions about what happened. You saw it, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me how you felt when you were being asked these questions there.
Never been in that position, so it felt like the walls were closing in. I was nervous. It was just so much happening. And then she didn't, the officer, the way she was talking to me was just scaring me more. Like if I did something was gonna change my whole life, where I had to think at that moment, like, you don't have a life no more. You're gonna be in jail forever. You're not gonna be able to help your mom or nothing. Like I was just scared, really scared.
Were you able to remember everything pretty clearly at that moment?
No, sir, because I had so much going on in my head of, like I said, losing my freedom and not being with my family.
Did you even know that he had been hit at this point?
No, sir, so she told me. That's what overwhelmed me because she was like telling me like he's gonna die, and it bothered me. Cause I right then I was like, my life's over.
You think your life was over because you thought you did something wrong and they did not seem like they wanted to believe you?
The way she was talking to me, I just thought that was it. Like they're gonna just say I did it because I was mad or something. The way she was telling me, and I was like, no, I didn't want to because I told her if I wanted to shoot him, I would have shot him right when he pointed the gun at me. I didn't because I didn't want to kill him. I didn't even want to hurt him. That's why I kept telling him to leave.
You were during this time, during the interview, you kept saying, I'm trying to be calm. Want to make sure to tell you the truth. Did you feel like you were getting frustrated or they were trying to frustrate you while you were talking?
I felt like I was getting vertigo and I was getting like a lot like I never felt like that before because I never had pressure like that. And all the situations was just making me nervous, scared, thinking about all these things at one time. I couldn't be straight minded. I was just my blood was rushing and everything because I was still scared of what happened. And it just went up more when she said he's gonna die. I don't want nobody to die.
How did you feel whenever they let you go?
Scared. I thought they were gonna come kill me.
Who's they?
Because normally when people are around there, if you do something like that, they have friends or family and they'll come back.
And so you were worried about your own safety still.
Yes.
Once the police let you go, though, how did you feel? Like, hey, they let me go. Did you have a certain feeling about that?
I was still scared because I knew the police were not gonna do nothing if I told them.
What you told them about what? Though?
Because when the cop told me I was released for self-defense right out from the
I'm gonna object to hearsay.
Sustained.
So without telling us what they told you, when they told you you were released, how did you feel?
still scared.
But how did you feel that they weren't still questioning you?
Scared still.
And so they released you, they take you back home?
Yes, the officer.
Did you talk to the officer while you were in the car?
I'm gonna object to hearsay.
I haven't even gotten anything.
All right. You can answer yes or no to that question.
Yes.
And did you tell the officer, hey, look, we need more patrols back there to make sure nothing happens? Did you have a conversation about that?
Yes. In the vehicle when he was bringing me back home.
Okay. Now, you get back home, what happens after that?
He dropped me off. And when I was getting off, I told him, how can I reach y'all? And he gave me a card at that time and told me to call if I had any more problems. And I told him, I'm scared because I know they're going to do something. He just told me to call and he just,
Objection to hearsay.
Sustained.
So you have the conversation, you get off the car. Do you think anything else for the rest of the time after this has taken place? Does anybody else come and talk to you?
after he let me out the car and went back inside, no one ever said to me, because no one sent me papers, nobody called me, nothing.
Okay, so, and you lived at that same address, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Nobody else went back out to the scene?
I had police officers go over there for other incidents like my sister and niece because there were other problems and they came looking for them. And I would answer my door because they had the address of them living there.
But what I'm talking about is in regards to the investigation into what happened that night, Nobody else went out there to look for more evidence or to talk to you or talk to any other witnesses, as far as you know.
No, sir, nobody did.
And officers went back out to, hey, look, can we look again back here? Or while you were there, you saw them looking behind the area to see if they could collect any more evidence.
No.
Did you get rid of that weapon?
Once they took it and they told me that's when they took the gun, they told me if I want to release it to them. Because there was I told them about what about the gun? They were like, do you want to give it up for evidence? And I was like, go ahead, you can have it. I don't need it. I'm already in trouble. Why do I need it? Like, take it.
Did you ever get another weapon?
No.
And you still had issues back there in that area.
Yes, sir.
You did run into an officer again later on, correct, Officer Mendez?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Based upon the conversation you had with that officer, were you worried about what might have happened?
I'm gonna object to hearsay.
This is his own impressions, Your Honor. It's not what he said.
All right, if it's based upon what somebody told him, I'm going to sustain the objection.
The conversation you had one for some time with this individual,
Yes, sir.
and did you feel like you were okay at that
No.
point?
And again, I'm gonna object to hearsay if it's based off of anything that he spoke with another person.
He's making his own inclination about his own impression about what he felt after the conversation, not after anything he said.
All right, is there another objection?
Legal conclusion, relevance.
Sustained.
You didn't get arrested that day, right?
No, sir.
You didn't get arrested that night.
No, sir. I talked to 2 cops.
And so were you still feeling the effects of what had taken place when you
Yeah.
had this conversation with this officer?
Yes.
What kind of things were you dealing with?
Just being scared all the time, not sleeping. Just a lot of weight, a lot of things like a lot of bad things. Because the police scare me. After I talked to that one police officer, I was scared because I saw how she was just being mean to me.
You talking about the one at the station?
Yes. So I just didn't trust them after that.
When you fired your weapon, did you have any intent to cause any injury to Mr. Specs?
No, because I wasn't aiming. Like,
Were you trying to protect yourself and your mom and your niece?
my mom, yes, and my niece, yes. I didn't care what happened to me. I just didn't want him shooting my mother.
That's what I'm trying-
All right, state.
So, hello, Roger. My name's Daniel. I'm from one of the prosecutors for the state. At any time, if I ask a question that you don't understand, just let me know, okay?
Yes, sir.
So you gave quite a few statements to the police that night, right?
Yes, sir.
So you gave one whenever they first arrived, right?
Yes, sir.
You gave one at the station, correct?
Yes, sir.
But the one at the station changed a few times. Wouldn't
I
you
was
agree?
scared.
Wouldn't you agree that you changed what you said at the station?
I don't remember because I had so much going on at that moment.
Sir, you sat here in this room and watched while we play that interview, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you saw what you said that night.
Yeah, but I was under pressure there.
No, I
Like,
understand that.
So
but-
much was going on.
But I would say you would agree that you changed that story multiple times.
I can't tell you yes because I wasn't in the right state of mind. So much stuff was going on.
You weren't in the right state of mind while you were sitting there,
I was scared.
right over here.
No, at that moment in the video,
No, but I'm asking you right now,
I'm still scared now because I don't know what's gonna happen to me.
but you weren't paying attention? You weren't.
These
thinking
are
about
things
it?
I was trying to forget. Once they let me go, I thought this was over. I didn't need to worry about this no more
Well,
because they were
let's talk about that,
assuring
sir.
me I was okay. That's why they let me go.
Sir, let's talk about that. Because you're saying that you're trying to forget, right? You agree? You just said it. Yes or no?
Somewhat, yes, because I don't want to think about it.
Because right now you just added in more details that you didn't tell the police when they arrived at your home. That, right? That you
Because
didn't tell.
I'm not scared, right? Like, not scared, but more calmer than that day. Like, I had time to sleep and think about it. And it comes and goes. Like,
So answer the question, sir. So you've added in more details today that you did not give previously. Yes or no?
just probably one.
Probably one.
Yeah, when I just
So you told the detectives that day that you told Zachary that you had a gun at the gate. Did you ever? You never told them that, right?
yes told him I went to the gate. I had a gun. I told him.
But that you told Zachary, I have a gun. Did you ever tell
I
anyone?
can't
that?
recall. I can't remember. Like at that moment, I'm like I said, it's so much stuff and it's blurry because it's been so long.
So if they were to review this video, the body worn camera that shows your statement, the one that shows you downtown, again, you never told Zachary about you having a gun, right? That's not captured on any video that's been presented, correct? Yes or no?
I'm trying to remember right now. I everything's happening so fast right now. Still, I got to see it again and go over it again. But still, like I said, it was so much going on.
Would you like a chance to review it again?
If it's gonna help you,
If no, sir, if it's gonna help you, because it's your memory that's having issues right now, right?
I'm scared.
Yes or no? Yes, it's your memory that's having issues right now. Yes or no?
Not really,
So you're all over the place, just like you were in that interview, right?
because I'm scared.
Which I understand. But at the same time, it's important that when someone asks you what happened, you tell them the story, right?
Yes,
And that you are telling us important details today that you never told them that day, right? Yes or no? Answer the question, sir. Yes or no?
no. Then the way you're talking to me, I'm getting overwhelmed. Like because normally when people talk to me, it's my whole life. People talk to me in Spanish and English in short things. So when people put pressure on me, it's like I turn off. I'm like trying to understand you and trying to see what you're saying to me, so I can give you the right answer, sir.
I'm not asking for a specific, I'm asking for the truth. That's what I'm asking for. And I apologize if right now you're under a lot of pressure, but this is a trial. You understand that, right?
I question, yes.
So you never told the police that night that Zachary got up onto his truck and shot at you and your mother.
Yes, I did.
You mentioned it to
Even my mother did.
so if there's video of your full statement and it does not contain all of that information, then would you be lying then or are you lying now?
I'm not. Because it was like I said, I don't know because I was under a lot of pressure and I was scared.
But you would agree if you're talking with the police, it'd be important to tell them details about what the other person did, right?
But you never been in my situation, so you wouldn't know the pressure and the scariness to be like that.
Well, here's the thing. You're claiming that you had to defend yourself and your mother, right?
My mother,
You and your mother, correct?
like
Yes
I
or
said
no?
before, I didn't care
Yes.
about me, my mother.
Objected, non-responsive.
Sustain. Excuse me, sir.
That's right.
You need to listen to the question that's being asked of you and answer the question.
That's
If
right.
you do not understand the question that is being asked of you, then you need to let the questioner know. Do you understand?
That's right.
And there's to be no talking over each other because the court reporter cannot take down two people at once. Do you understand?
That's right.
Ask your next question.
So you would agree that that, like, you're claiming right now that you had to defend yourself that night, you and your mother, yes or no?
Yes,
And you never once went out to the police to speak with them and tell them what happened, yes or no?
yes, I did.
But they had to come to you in order for you to say that, yes or no?
Because I stayed in the house when they told me to stay in the house.
You never decided to call 911 on
We
your own?
were.
Sir, let me ask my question. You never decided to call 911 and tell them what happened yourself, did you?
My
Yes or
mom
no?
told me the cops were coming.
Again, objection, non-responsive.
I didn't have a phone.
Sustained.
He's giving an answer to that question. Just because the council doesn't like it does not mean. it's
All
an
right, the
appropriate
objection
answer.
is sustained and everybody needs to make legal objections. The objection is sustained. You can re-ask the question.
You never decided to take it upon yourself to call 911, did you? Yes or no?
Because I didn't have my own phone. My mom had a flip old phone.
You couldn't have told your mother, let me use her phone. I need to tell them what
She
you
was on the phone
Sir,
and-
let me finish the question. You couldn't have asked your mother, can I use your phone to tell them what happened? Yes or no? Did you ever, you could have said that. Could have asked your mom. Right?
I was scared. I was just with my niece right there. My mom was on the phone
You were scared to tell your mother, I need to talk to the police.
because I
Let
thought
me-
they were coming already.
Sir, let me ask the question, please. So you, at that time, couldn't have said, let me use the phone and let me call 911 from the home. You could have done that, right?
I was in the right state of mind, yeah. Like, not scared, and if everything was more the way it went, yes, I'll probably be thinking right and be like, let me do that. But like I said, I was scared.
But what would you be afraid of? Someone shot at you and your mother, right?
Coming back and doing the same thing again.
Again, but here's the thing, you would then be talking to the police. You understand that, right? It's not whether someone was going to come back, it's you would be calling the police. Do you understand that? Yes or no?
Like I said, I was scared.
To call the police.
I wasn't thinking.
So,
When my mom talks to
sir, yeah, no one's asked you a question. So, when officers first arrived and spoke with you, you didn't tell them, I shot someone immediately, did you? Yes or no?
it was on the film, I told him what I said.
No, what happened was they came to your home, right?
The council testifying.
I was asking a question.
All right, let me hear the question.
So they came to your home, right? Yes or no?
Yes,
And they spoke with you for a couple minutes, yes or no?
yes,
And in that footage, did you ever say, I shot someone until you asked to speak to them off to the side? Did you offer that up yourself?
when the first officer came, he said, we have an incident, was it this? And I said, yes, here.
So if that video shows something different, what does that mean? That you didn't do it, right? If the video shows that you never said that, you didn't do it then, right? Yes or no?
I did, I told them.
So you asked to speak to the detective off to the side, right?
She told me she wanted to talk to me,
And are you sure about that?
like I said, everything's happening so fast, like, I'm scared, I'm nervous.
Which, again, I understand that. But it's watching a video and just seeing a sequence of events, right? That's what you would be doing, and you can't do that right now, can you? Yes or no?
Scared.
So you tell the detective what happened, right? At your home.
Trying to,
Well, it's either a yes or no. Did you tell her what happened?
yes,
And you never gave the details of Zachary standing up on his truck, right?
like I said, it was a lot of stuff going on. I couldn't think right to be telling you specifics of what was going on because I was just scared.
But an hour and a half had gone from when this happened to when you spoke with them, right? Yes or no?
Like I said, I was scared.
I understand that, but you're claiming self-defense. You're saying I did it and I had a reason to, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
And if you had a reason to do it, wouldn't you have just told them that you did it and why? Yes or no?
How I would say it,
Yes or no, sir?
yes.
But you didn't do that right there, did you? Yes or no?
Yes, I did tell them.
But did you tell them Zachary pointed the gun at us? He
Yes.
stood up off of the truck and pointed. Did
Yeah,
you?
I was trying to, but like I said, I don't remember because it was so long ago and I was scared.
Are you telling me that it was so long ago when you told them, or so long ago between when it happened and when you spoke with them? Which one is it?
Sorry, but when it happened, like I said, I was scared at that moment.
But you're talking with the police. Why do you have any reason to be afraid of talking to the police?
Because they don't do nothing.
But right then they were doing something. They were at
They're
sir, let me ask the question. They were there at your home to talk to you about what happened, but you didn't immediately, did you?
because I was scared and I wasn't thinking right.
So when you went down to the station, you gave another version or explanation of what happened, right?
I guess, like, if you're saying I'm saying all these stories,
You saw the interview.
but I was, like I said, I was scared. I'm not thinking right.
So you told the detective that you never fired a shot until after you were right behind your car closest to your home, right?
I said I shot at the ground before that.
Well, but did you tell her in that interview that
Yes.
eventually, right?
Yeah, I told her the shells are there because I shot the ground, the bullets on the floor, you could see.
So if the video shows that you told her that the first time I shot was at the car near my home, and you're saying right now it wasn't, are you lying then or are you lying now?
This is getting confusing. Look,
I apologize. So the video showed that you said, I fired into the ground, or I fired in at my car at the person. And that was the first place you shot. But you're changing it now, right?
because I'm nervous and scared. It's like I'm that day. It's so much going on. I'm trying to tell you the truth, but I'm scared.
So you had an opportunity to tell the truth then, right?
I was trying to. I was trying to be clear, but my mind and being scared doesn't help me talk right.
And I understand that, but it's important when you say that someone shot at me and I had to shoot back, that you,
At that moment,
sir, let me ask the question. So it's important that you actually tell them all the details, right?
I was trying to.
And you would have been trying to be truthful, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you keep changing your story and changing details, do you think that you're being truthful?
I'm trying to be so you can understand me.
But if you say I shot in one place and then you change your story to say, well, actually, I shot at another place, both can't be true, right? Yes or no?
Yes, because I'm trying to tell you how it went, but it's not coming out right at that time.
But you had 30 minutes to speak with the detective. You had quite a bit of time where you had a chance to talk with her, right?
Yeah, but you, like I said, you're not in that situation to think right. You wouldn't know. I was under all that pressure and being scared.
And I understand that you were under pressure. But again, I'm getting back to, if you were telling the truth, you would have just said the same story every time, right?
Like I said, I don't know.
So
It's hard.
has anyone ever lied to you? People have had to have lied to you in your life, right?
I avoid people.
So no one's ever lied to you before,
You could tell when they're going to.
but you can also tell when they've lied to you, right?
Try not to stick that long to find out.
But you can tell when people have already lied to you, right? Or are going to lie to you.
Pretty much by their demeanor.
And by what they say, right?
Not really the actions they're doing. You
So-
can see what they're doing.
So if I give you two different versions of events, one in which I do XYZ, but I change it to ABC. Wouldn't that be that I'm changing my story and that one of them has to be a lie?
I don't know what you're going through or how you feel that day. I don't know.
But it's just basic thinking about what people are saying. If you
said
change
I
your
don't.
story,
That would be you. That's different with me because I have a lot of pressure. I have all this dealing of losing my freedom and losing my mother. A lot of overwhelming
here's-
stuff will be thinking over what I'm trying to
let me
say.
ask. But here's the thing, Zachary lost his sight that night, right?
You say he did.
You saw him here. And he told this jury that he did, right?
Yes.
So he also had a lot to lose and he did lose that night, right?
I guess. You say he's blind fully.
You never actually asked how Zachary was. You didn't want to kill him, but you never actually asked, is he okay? Did you?
Because I wasn't thinking right. I was scared. I didn't know I had to go through a proper procedure of caring for other people who don't care for my mother and my well-being. I didn't know I had to care for people trying to hurt us.
Now, here's the thing though, is that you're told multiple times that he's in critical condition, yet you never actually ask, how is he doing?
Because I was in shock. How you don't act when they say you killed someone when you see them now? They're saying he's gonna die. I was thinking I took someone's soul
Right, but you never actually asked,
because I was scared of that. That's very big.
sir, let me ask the question, okay? Because you never actually asked, how is he doing? Did you?
So I was in shock. I didn't know how to think. I'm worried about my mother.
So, sir, let's talk about your mother because you heard her testify, right?
Yes, sir.
And you heard the version of events that she told the detective that night. It was recorded on an audio statement, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
And that version is incredibly different from what you told Detective Mondragon that night, right?
You say so.
Well, sir, it's not if I say so. You were sitting there listening to it too, weren't you?
My mom's very hard to talk to or even her talking to anybody.
But you heard what she said. It's recorded.
She could tell you one thing, think of other things, and it comes out differently. She does that constantly. Like,
So,
it's hard for her to speak, to say what she wants to say because
But sir, let me ask. You heard she had about 10 minutes to talk to that detective to give her side of the story, and she did. She was given that opportunity, right? Yes or no?
yes,
And her story is different from what you said that night, wasn't it? Yes or no?
maybe.
So you would agree, you guys are the only two, there were three witnesses to what happened, right?
Yes, sir.
It was you, your mother, and Zachary, right?
Yes, sir.
And Zachary had a gunshot wound to the head, right?
After the lady told me, yes.
Well, no, I'm just saying he had it, right?
I didn't know where I shot him. I didn't know nothing till the
But-
lady told me.
Sir, so but he's the one that came in here and he told his side. And it was consistent with what he told officers when they found him, right? You heard what he told the officers.
He didn't say nothing about shooting at my mom. He didn't say nothing about throwing trash and doing none of that.
But here's the thing, you also didn't say other details. And you're the one that doesn't have a head injury from a gunshot, do you?
You say so.
So you actually had long hair on that night, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And you actually had long hair a few days ago, didn't you?
Can I object to relevance, Your Honor?
Overrule.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You actually had long hair back on Tuesday, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Then you cut it, didn't you?
For a reason.
What was that reason?
Because I always grew my hair out because that's like my religion. When someone dies or someone is starting a new beginning, I mean like in my family, we cut it. But to move on from the past, you cut your hair to start a new beginning and not think about the past. And coming to court, it's very important to go through it and end it. So I didn't want to remember none of that. That's why I cut my hair to come in fresh and hope everything goes for the good.
So,
And I didn't know it was against the
Sure.
law to cut my hair.
sir, one final thing, it's not, but good observation. You initially did not tell Detective Wondergon that you fired warning shots, did you? Right?
I don't remember.
But today you said that you were the first person to have fired their weapon in this situation, right?
Yes, everything was happening so fast.
But right now, you just testified that you're the one that was the first you fired warning shots when he got his gun. You shot into the ground, right?
After he pointed the gun at me, yes.
So, but again, you never mentioned any of those details to Detective Mondragon, did you? Not until later in your interview, right?
I don't remember. I was scared.
You never saw a gun that night, did you?
You pointed the gun.
You told Detective Mondragon that you never
couldn't-
saw the weapon.
I couldn't tell you, oh, it's a 45, oh, it's a 38. I couldn't tell you details, but when someone's doing the gesture and you see the black in their hand, he's wearing white. You could see, and when he went like this, you could see it because he grabbed it out of the bag.
But you told Detective Mondragon you never saw a gun.
I couldn't tell you the detail of the gun.
You said you never saw a gun,
I
right?
saw him pointed at us.
No, you said I saw him reach into the back, start the motion, and then you said I started running, right? So that video shows something different. Then would you be lying then, or are you lying?
I'm
now?
getting confused. It's a lot of overwhelming the way you're saying it and everything. That's why I don't want to sound like if I'm lying or something. I'm trying to tell you clearly what I'm saying, but like I said, I'm scared, I'm nervous.
Right, but you've been changing your story from when you were first approached by officers to when you were at the station, when you were here on the stand, right?
If you say so.
It's a yes or no question, sir. You even know what you've been saying this entire time to keep it straight?
I'm scared. Every 5 minutes that goes by, I'm scared. I'm trying not to even think about it.
Pass the witness.
I proceed, Your Honor.
Yes.
Mr. Saucedo, would you have fired your weapon if not for suspects displaying and firing his weapon?
If he never showed me, I wouldn't. And if he never shot it, I wouldn't.
If you wouldn't have done those things, you never would have fired.
No.
You did tell these details to Detective Mondragon at some point in the interview, is that correct?
I was trying to.
And you would agree with me, she never really let you finish what you were trying to discuss with her at different points in the interview?
She was just, to me at that time, the way it felt was she was just already accusing me.
You were clear that you had shot that night in your backyard, like you were shooting. You were clear with them.
Shot at him when I saw him shooting at my mom.
You never told them, no, I didn't do any shooting. No, I'm not a part of anything. No, you can't come in here. You were cooperative about what took place.
Yes, I was trying to as much as I could remember and not being scared to help. So they know.
Earlier, you said the police don't do anything. They hadn't done anything for you, have they?
No, they still don't.
What steps have you taken at this point to secure your backyard now?
I put more private fence to cover more of my house. I put a 10-foot metal gate I built so nobody can shoot directly behind my house. It blocks the whole backyard behind my house, so nobody can see or shoot because it's made out of metal now. It was wood back then and short. And before that, they shot at my car and I called police before.
You put anything else up there?
I put cameras everywhere. I call the city to tell them if they can put lights back there. They don't. They say we didn't have to pay for it. So I started putting poles with lights, cameras in every corner of my house. because they told me you need to take care of yourself. You need cameras, you need lights. Over here, it's bad. I said, yes, I know.
So you had to take, that night, you had to take these steps to protect yourself and your mother and your niece.
Yes,
You had to take extra steps, try to protect your property and yourself and your girlfriend, your own child, and your mother at that residence.
Objection, relevance.
Any other objection?
No, Judge.
All right, that'll be overruled.
So you had to take those steps to protect yourself from anything else that might occur.
yes, sir.
And you've had to protect yourself because the one time you chose to use this force, you got charged with an offense
Yes, sir.
in your own backyard.
Yes, sir.
That's what it's showing.
Good one, Judge.
Oh, you may proceed.
The one time you had to use this force, protect yourself in your backyard. You didn't even report it voluntarily. They had to come and ask you about it, didn't they?
We called the police.
Would it surprise you that there's no record of you or your mother calling the police?
My mom had the phone. I can't tell
It's
you,
a yes or no question, sir.
I can't tell you.
Yes or
You
no?
had the
Would
phone.
it surprise,
I had-
sir? Would it surprise you that there's no record of you or your mother calling 911? Yes or no?
I can't tell you, I can't remember.
Yes or no, sir? Would it surprise you? That's it. Would it surprise you?
If someone didn't,
Yes or no, sir? Would it surprise you?
I really at this point,
Yes or no, sir? You're still not answering the question.
no.
Nothing further.
No further questions.
All right, you may step down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you all a break. I'm going to see what is the issue with the transportation, okay? Remember my previous instructions. Everyone, please rise for the jurors.
You need to take a minute to go get it.
Yes, please.
And we're not on the record. If you want to take a break, Diana, you can. All right, so what is the update on this witness?
No, I haven't got anything, Judge.
All right, who is the liaison officer?
Virginia, I can try and see if I can go get her, but I
Okay.
can, they also had their sergeant, trying to, at least that's what they told me.
All right, if you could have her come, please.
They're left behind.
All right, let me call Jessica.
They left your chamber, right?
Yes, they did.
The judge is looking for the defense attorneys. Yeah, she wants to put something on the record. Daniel's on his way, Judge.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Kalisa? Well, while we're waiting for the defense attorneys, do you have any questions about anything? Okay, all
We were
right.
talking a little bit about the rule, Judge. I was just saying, the rule is pretty much like the witnesses can't talk to each other. And,
Mhm.
um,
Yes, and so sometimes the only people that are excluded from the rule are expert witnesses. But your lay witnesses, which are people who saw or heard something, when the rule is invoked, that means that they can't sit in and listen to testimony, because sometimes experts can actually sit in and listen to testimony. And usually they'll sit in and listen to testimony when you have a battle of the experts. Let's say somebody has died and you have a medical examiner, and then maybe the defense has their own person who did an autopsy as well, or viewed the autopsy, and maybe they think the cause of death is something else. Then what will end up happening is sometimes those experts or DNA experts will sit and watch the other expert testify. So usually when the rule is invoked, witnesses can't talk to anybody else about their testimony, and they can't talk to other witnesses, and other witnesses are not supposed to see other witnesses' testimony. And sometimes when attorneys are doing a jury trial, Daniel, oh, I'm just talking to her. You're blocking her.
Sorry.
That's okay. Sometimes when attorneys are having a jury trial and you are concentrated on your trial, sometimes you forget to invoke the rule. So the rule can actually be invoked at any time. Let's say nobody remembers to invoke the rule and 10 witnesses have already been called. You can still invoke the rule. And sometimes that falls through the cracks, because if you are the lead attorney on a case, you're thinking about certain things. You're not thinking about some of the other things. And usually your partner or somebody will tap you on the shoulder and say, oh, the rule's not been invoked. And that happens a lot because you're just concentrating on straight things. So, oh, you're so welcome. And then usually on felony cases, there are 12 jurors. I always do 2 alternates because you never know, something may end up happening. We have had something happen before where we've had to use an alternate. One of the few exceptions to 12 jurors in a felony court is if it's a misdemeanor that's being tried in felony court. And usually what ends up happening is if you have an officer who's accused of an assault, or an officer at the jail is accused of assaulting an inmate unjustifiably, right? That usually comes to a felony court. And then because that's really just an assault and it's not a felony assault, sometimes you won't have 12 jurors. You'll sometimes have 6. So it just really depends. And attorneys who do a lot of trials, they automatically know you're in felony court, it's 12 jurors. Now, sometimes if it's something weird that people don't normally try, they'll usually have to look and see what the code says about that. So if you have a situation where there are co-defendants and they're all being tried together, then it's not necessarily just 12. Sometimes you get more strikes than you think you're going to get. So it just really depends. So Leo,
Yes, Judge.
I talked to, Jessica was in the back and Jessica informed us that the witness will be here at 4:30.
I was made aware.
All right, so I talked to her and she had no objections to Deputy Laura letting the jurors know that it won't be till 4:30, so they can walk around and everything.
Okay.
So we will start back at 4:30. Is there anything else?
Judge, I did tell the sergeant for the liaison, I told him to tell the officer to give us an ETA when he is on his way so that we know. Apparently, when he got called, he had to get dressed. He wasn't properly, I guess,
Okay.
in uniform or wearing the right thing to come to court. So,
All right, so we will then be back at 4:30. And Kalisa, again, if there's any questions you have about anything, you can always ask the attorneys, always ask me, or if you have anything, any questions about what the deputies do, they'll answer them for you.
I'm just gonna stay in that one.
Okay.